the BBC Museum from Home project. My name is Emma, and I am an engagement officer at the Jewish Museum. Today, you are joining me for an object talk on a photograph of the Salim Jewish School in Aden in Yemen. This object is one of over 40,000 objects in the Jewish Museum London's designated collection that shows the diversity of Jewish life and history. And our programmes exist to explore connections between faith and cultures. The photograph is one of the objects in our stores, and you can look at a picture of it by clicking on the link that I am sharing in the comments section now, or you can also find a link to this in the event description. So if you want to have a look at the image as I talk about it, either click on the link in the comments section or in the event description. This object represents the Adeni Jewish community, their history in Aden, and the incredible rescue mission that brought many of these Jewish people to London. This 1950s black and white photograph shows students having an art class at the Salim Jewish School in Aden. Now, Jewish people have a very long history in Aden, and during the Middle Ages, there was a thriving Jewish population in the city, and the port town played an important role in the history of Hebrew literature, letter writing, and communication between different Jewish communities across the Middle East. In the 18th century, however, when Aden fell into decay after suffering many economic losses, the Jewish population there declined as many emigrated. In 1839, Aden was colonised by the British Empire, and under British rule, Aden again became an important centre of trade and communication. Jewish people were given equal rights under British rule, and so able to play an active role in trade. As a safe haven for Jewish people, many migrated here at this time. In 1858, the Great Synagogue was founded, with room for 2,000 worshippers. Now, this photograph shows the Salim School. The girls' school in Aden had been founded in 1929, and this was built next door to the King George V Jewish Boys' School, which had been founded in 1910. At this time, the Jewish population in Aden had reached several thousand, and there was demand enough for a separate boys' and girls' school. However, tensions rose throughout the 20th century about the status of Jewish people as a protected community. And from the 1930s, there's a significant rise in anti-Semitism, and anti-Semitic riots started to break out. A particularly deadly attack on the Jewish quarter in Aden happened in 1932, and many Jewish people were physically attacked and the synagogue damaged. In December 1947, even more deadly riots broke out, which destroyed both schools and also saw the synagogue and hundreds of houses burnt down. Around 80 Jewish people were murdered and 76 injured. There were also around 40 Arabs who were killed and many more injured as part of these riots. Following this, a large rescue mission, known as Operation Magic Carpet, evacuated around 44,000 Jewish people from across Yemen as a whole and took them to safety in Israel. However, many of the community remained in Aden and rebuilt their life there. A new co-educational school was built on the site of the former girls' school, although enrolment dropped as many of the community had left. We have a large collection of photographs, including this one, which show the school in the 1950s and 1960s, and we can get a sense of what it might have been like to attend. In this photograph, the girls are seen very hard at work, concentrating during an art class, And we have many more photos of the children being very studious, sat at their desks, posing in a chemistry lab, and writing answers on a large blackboard. Alongside these, we also have many photos of students enjoying extracurricular activities at the school, children playing together in the sports hall, posing at a school prize giving, celebrating the festival of Purim together in some brilliant fancy dress costumes, and putting on a school play. The smiles on the children's faces in many of the photographs is a huge contrast to the difficulties and the fear this community was facing. And I think it is really a testament to the work of the teachers and parents in providing such a safe and positive environment for their children to thrive in, despite what was going on in that community. However, the situation in Aden was unstable, and as more and more of the Jewish community moved away for safety, the need for this school declined. In 1966, the school was forced to finally close its doors, as there were no longer enough students. But our collection of photographs continues to tell the story of this school. Now, this photograph and many others in our collection were donated to us by Abraham Marks, who was headmaster of the mixed school in the 1950s. As well as contributing to providing this safe haven that the school was for the children in this photograph. After the school's closure, he played an even larger role in ensuring their safety. In June 1967, war broke out in Aden, and Jewish lives were again in serious danger. Another rescue mission was launched, this time from Britain, to rescue the 140 Jewish people who remained in Yemen. It was the Royal Lancashire Regiment who led this evacuation, and during it, Abraham Marks's knowledge of the community proved vital. He had moved to Britain when the school had finally closed, but he returned with the Royal Lancashire Regiment to ensure that all Jewish people remaining in Aden were accounted for. He went door to door, shepherding members of the community to safety so they could be successfully evacuated. We are really grateful to Abraham Marks for donating these photographs to our museum. Whilst the people in the photograph were forced to flee from their homes, these photos ensure that their life in Aden is remembered. They also show the determination and resilience of the Adeni Jewish community in providing a safe and educational space for their children to learn and grow, despite the challenges the community faced. And finally, they remind us of the bravery of the headmaster and donor of this collection, who personally shepherded people to safety in the 1967 rescue mission. I'm really pleased to be able to share this photograph with you all in this object talk. Today, there are over 1,000 members of the Adeni Jewish community in London, and through our varied collection, the Jewish Museum London seeks to share the stories of the many diverse Jewish communities that make up the fascinating history of Jewish people in Britain and Jewish culture and faith today. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining me for this live object talk. Next Wednesday at midday, do join us for the next in our series of object talks, where Eliana will be looking at an 18th century sundial. So do join us then. Thank you.